bars, touch. Bring it hard, Dutch. Shake the system, streets.
Do you feel like the media tends to portray North Minneapolis negatively? Why do you think this happened?
Yes. And I think it happens because it's strategic. So you're fed the same information, right? And so that hasn't stopped, I don't think. And I haven't watched the news for a very long time. And so I do think that most media outlets are biased. And we're lucky to have places like the Minnesota Women's Press, media access, all of those places so that we have true stories of what's going on in North Minneapolis. I am a believer in abolition, and so I really don't believe in the police state as it is. And so the short answer is no. It harkens back to the days of just of overseeing us as slaves, and I don't use that terminology when I describe us. Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be changed. You know what? Yes, 99% of the time I feel safe in my community. I feel safe in my community also because I know people in and around my building and have built those relationships. I think it's really important that when we're in North Minneapolis, we get to know our neighbors, and that doesn't happen all the time, and it takes effort. So we're only better when we know each other and have those relationships and grow stronger, because if we don't trust each other, it's hard to feel safe in your community.
I am a senior violence prevention specialist in the city of Minneapolis. I am also a pastor. A lot of the young people I was seeing get killed. I think over the last 5 years, I've watched over 150 people die, and most of them lived in North Minneapolis. So what motivated me to come out of my corporate office hospital job and come back into the community is that I wanted to save lives on the front end, upstream, versus catching them downstream. The media absolutely portrays North Minneapolis in a negative way. I don't like to take a lot of interviews because of that. I only take stories that reflect us. I don't think you should do stories about us without us. This community, I felt like, was redlined on purpose. It was left behind on purpose. And because of that, it's a known fact where you see lower resources and economical opportunities, you get more violence. So what we began to do at the church is, instead of us having youth volunteer and our people volunteer, we begin to pay them livable wages. Because if not, you're gonna be back in these same lines that I'm trying to rescue you out of. So I believe that the crime in North Minneapolis, I would say within the last year, is on a decline and reduction, and that is because community, and when I say community, I mean seniors, youth, elders, the church, the mosque, we're all getting involved together and coming outside of our walls and saying we want our community back. I would say that the police have to come back in the community to reflect the community. I think it's better if they were from our communities. I think they would police us better, because you would understand what's going on in the community, and then you would understand what we need. So what we've done here at Shiloh Temple, the church, we've invited the police in, because if we don't let them in, then they won't come in. And then the community won't see the police as a part of the solution versus the problem. I feel very safe in this community. I work in this community. I'm in this community almost all the time in North Minneapolis. North Minneapolis is full of good people. It's vibrant. I think sometimes North Minneapolis gets a bad rap, but there are excellent people who live here. We are a neighborhood and community of people that stick together. We love each other. We don't really let outsiders in, but if you're a Northside, you're a Northside, and you know what it is, you know what it is.
When you watch the news, they always highlight when something happens in North Minneapolis, it's always North Minneapolis. But when it's South Minneapolis, it's just Minneapolis. And a lot of stuff that happens, you pretty much hear about everything that happens in North Minneapolis. But when it's any other area, St. Paul, any other part of Minneapolis, the suburbs, it might be a little quick snippet, but they make sure when it's people of color, you see their face. They talk about previous history. So yes, absolutely. So we're actually a 32-year-old business in North Minneapolis. My dad bought the building in 1991. So it was family owned and operated from when he bought the building until about 4 years ago, when I bought the building from my dad. And when we opened, the desire to be around your people, servicing us, you get so much support. And it's so satisfying to have a successful business where you can help other people become successful too. We can see the gentrification kind of happening now, but for us to God willing, be able to stay here and have a prosperous business on the north side as the area even changes, to be able to be supported by other organizations to help you stay, because they helped us through COVID, to make sure as a 32-year-old business that we stay here, Black woman-owned business. My kids work here. So I think highlighted just that, to be able to be a Black-owned business as things change and we're still here. That right there is really important. But that's really special to us to be able to serve us.
Do you feel safe in this community?
I do. Even with everything that's going on, I start at 6 o'clock in the morning. I used to start at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I come here by myself early in the morning. I've done it for 30 years, so praise God. I'm still here and doing a great business.
Yeah, so right now I am the project coordinator for the Building Peaceful Schools program through the EMSS department through the Minneapolis Public Schools. We partner with the City of Minneapolis and the CDC on trying to get kids to reduce violence in the communities in their schools through a student-led voice. I believe that all news cycles perceive the north side and the south side as negative aspects. You will see the north side negatively on the TV a little bit more due to the fact that I believe that they're trying to clean up the south side in that image before they clean up the north side image. So I believe that the police department is doing that the best that they can with the resources that they do have, but I'm hoping that the mayor and also other city leaders do a lot better in trying to fund and give a little bit more resources to community outreach programs such as this one to continue to build relationships and partner with the police department on building a better relationship for the future. At a young age, if I was able to meet with the City of Minneapolis Police Department, have a lot more activities given to me through those programs, I would be more comfortable being around them. I think the highlight is the people, right? The culture, right? Minneapolis is a great city. Minneapolis is great. The North Side has a great, rich culture with a lot of great people. But safety is something that you feel on your own terms. If you feel uncomfortable in a situation, sometimes you need to adapt and learn about why you may feel unsafe in those situations. But right now, I do feel safe with the community that we do have here on the North Side.